everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I've got a great project for you today. It uses both sizes of our half hexie rulers, so let's take a look at this quilt behind me. So isn't this great? I mean, this is a fun quilt, and I want to point out something. See this block right here? A lot of us have kids and grandkids that are involved in the Pokemon Go, and this block, doesn't it look like the Pokemon Go ball? I mean, that's what it looks like. I think in solids it would make a really fun quilt for our kids and grandkids. So to make this quilt, what you're going to need is one packet of 10-inch squares. And we've used Forever Love by Eleanor Burns for Benartex, and it's just a really cute line. That means 42 squares, and then you're also going to need 42 of your background color, and we've used this white. And you're going to need a yard of your background for this inner border right here. For the outer border, you're also going to need a yard of fabric, and it makes a little 5-inch border. Just comes together so cute. For the templates in these, you're going to need the half hexie, large and small, and we used a little of our lapel glue stick as well. So let me show you how to do this because this is really fun. So we're going to take a background square and a colored square because you want to keep these in pairs. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up like this, and then I'm going to cut this in half. So I'm going to lay my ruler right here along this edge and cut a 5-inch strip, and I love that this ruler, you know, it's just 5 inches wide, so it works out perfect. So we've got two 5-inch pieces right here. This one we're going to take our large hexagon and we're going to put on here like this, and we're going to cut all the way around it. Now you want to watch the flat sides of our hexagons, just means you're at the edge of the block, and so we're going to go ahead and cut this and cut across here and cut down here. Just like that. Whoops, I left a little corner there. And you're going to leave these together. Out of this little piece right here, we're going to cut 2 of these right here, just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and cut around this. Oops, and up this side right here. There we go. Now, you'll notice that I've left this side right here that has the pinked edge on it on the bottom. You want to do that because that's going to be inside your seam. So you want to do that. Now this piece right here, I'm not even going to call this waste because this is a whole nother project. So just set this aside and use it. These little side pieces right here, save those as well because they make a really cute block like this, where you put 2 little pieces together. And we're not using this for this project, but by golly, it's going to be something. Something. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 pieces right here. We've cut them, and we're going to swap them. So we're going to put them together like this, and we're going to make opposites. That's why we're calling it inside out. So this one's going to go on that side, and that one's going to go on this side. So to find the center, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this little half hexie in half like this, match up my sides right here, make a little finger press right there, and do the same thing on this one, match up my sides and make a little finger press. And then I'm going to lay these, and these should just lay right in there together. Now before I sew them, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of swipes of this glue stick on here so they stay, and just lays down like that. And again, make sure you're matched up. I almost lost my little line right there because this will make a match up as you lay out your rows. Oh, I forgot to do my half line. It's way easier to fold these in half before the glue. I won't tell you how I know that, but it's way easier to do that before the glue. All right, we're going to put a little swipe of glue right there, and we're going to lay this on here. Now these just get top stitched down. And you can use a tiny zigzag, and if you're going to use a zigzag, I recommend like a 1.5, a really tiny one, or a blanket stitch. Either one works. We're going to try a tiny zigzag on this one. So now I'm at the sewing machine and I've set it up for a tiny zigzag. I've always used a blanket stitch, and I took a wonderful class from Lori Holt, and she used a tiny zigzag, and I just thought it looked so perfect. So that's what we're doing. We're just doing a tiny zigzag right along the edge of this. And you only have to do the 3 sides. Because the other one's going to be enclosed in a seam. All righty, let's look at this. That looks pretty good. Let me finish this other one right here. Alrighty. So now we've finished both of these, and when you finish these, you want to keep them in pairs. Now I want you to look really closely here at this tiny zigzag, because see how cute that works out? I mean, it just works out really nice. Just like that. All right, so keep these together, and I have a stack of them over here. Now, anytime you make a hexie quilt, and this is just going to go together exactly like a normal hexie, you want to lay it out first, because you want to make sure that every top and bottom goes together. So even though it gets sewn together in long rows, you want to start with your pairs. And so then this one right here will come like this, and then this one will come down here. Now let me look at this to make sure. Okay, we did them opposite. That's what I had that in the back of my head. And so we want to go this way and this way. So you're going to do a full print and then your background with your little print. That's going to be your row. So then again, this one's going to go here, and this piece will go up here. So you're going to lay your rows together. I'm just going to start putting out a row here so you can see how this all goes together. So once you're ready to sew them together, you're going to sew a row. Now your row looks like this. So there's your row right there in the middle, and you're going to sew them together. When you're ready to sew these two pieces together, our little notches on the side, they don't line up with anything. That just means you're on the edge of your quilt. So when you lay these down together, you want to match them as closely as you can. And your 1/4" seam is going to come right along here, and they will line right up. Now, if they're just a hair off, don't worry about that either, because that's going to be, you're going to be able to hide that in the 1/4" seam. So don't stress over sewing these together. Just go ahead and sew your rows together, and then put the whole thing back together. All right, let's look at the quilt behind me, because you'll want to watch this layout. Now right here, this is the top, and these are a half with nothing on. That's what you're going to use that other yard for. So here's all these pieces that you're going to lay in here, and that's going to make the top of your quilt. Every row starts and ends with a half hexie, and that makes the border block on the sides. And that gives you this cool in-out line like this. And so it all works, it all goes, and it makes a super cute project really quick. And we hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the Inside Out quilt from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.